Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first Blue Pencil Zoom comedy night. Thank you all for coming. I'm glad that we can still do something, even though we're all being socially distanced and staying very safe, because we're all staying very safe, right? Right? I'm looking dead into the camera. That's very hard for me because I like to look at my face. So tonight we have three wonderful comics from Blue Pencil Comedy. We're going to try to do these shows semi-regularly. If this works out, we're really going to try to kind of make this what we're doing until we can make sure that we're going to have some safe comedy in the live space. So would you please welcome our first comic for the evening, Lauren Steinkell. Clapping.
Thank you. That's a nice golf clap.
Yeah.
I like how insistent Matthew was, because it really makes it sound like we're not being safe by how insistent he was that we are being safe. But I don't know, I've learned a little bit about myself during COVID. I used to not like mansplaining, and I couldn't put a finger on why I didn't like it until I moved home and lived with my mother again. And she did basically the same thing Amanda does, which is just constantly ask, just like, oh, are you doing it this way? Are you doing it this way? Are you doing this way? And the one I remember the worst is when I was getting in my car to leave, and she's like, oh my, do you have your keys, Lauren? And I was like, the ignition's on. Yes, I do. Because that was the same vibe as mansplaining, which I hadn't noticed until sophomore year of college when my friend Lizzie pointed it out to me. We were out hammocking, and we were hanging up our hammocks, and we were on East Green, and a man was coming out of Jeff Market. He's like, well, I don't know about that. And we were like, and Lizzie went, are you a hammocking expert? And he went, no. And then he walked away, and she was like, to say these trees won't hold our hammocks. I was like, oh, that's the thing. That's mansplaining, because he's trying to explain how to hang our hammocks. And she was like, yes, very good, Lauren. I'm glad you finally noticed. And then about a week later, also with my friend Lizzie, we were in the common bathroom in the lobby of our dorm room, trying to save her plant, and by transferring it, repotting it. And so we're making a mess of the bathroom, and a man comes in, he's like, hey, what are you doing? And we're like, we're repotting the plant, we're trimming the roots. We explained our whole process. And he was like, cool, I'm a plant bio major. I wanted to see if you guys needed help. It looks like you got it. And that's the way to do it. If you're an actual expert and it looks like we're floundering, because it really did, then you can offer the advice. But otherwise, we don't need it. Other Corona things, I had to take my sister back to school shopping because she, like me, went to Catholic school for 4 years and didn't have real people clothes to wear outside of her uniform. And so we had to take her back to school shopping. And as for stated, my mother's a little nosy, so I offered to do it. And we bought her a bunch of jeans, shirts, very respectable things, because she was under the delusion that she was going back to school in person. And my mom was like, oh, because you're being so nice and taking your sister shopping, you can get yourself something. And I was like, cool. And I bought sweatpants because I'm a realist. In these quarantine times, I have learned different skills that I think would make me useful in the apocalypse. I've learned how to garden, cook really well, I can sew. And I think people have told me in the past that I would not be on their apocalypse teams because I'm just kind of a panicker. But now I think I have useful skills. But at the same time though, I'm a bitch if I'm hungry. So I'm gonna be shit for morale, but you'll be looking fly. So it balances out. And so a story about me being hungry, my boyfriend and I have a rule where if I say I'm hungry, that means feed me. And we were leaving my boyfriend's house, or he lives with his parents. He lived with his parents. We were leaving their house, and I told Ryan, I was like, I'm hungry, and he was like, okay. And then he got talking to his mom, and the thing about Ryan is he can talk forever, and the thing is he got that from his mom. So we spent an hour trying to leave the house, and I was already hungry when we started the conversation. And then we had to leave, and by the time we left, the only thing that was open was a Cracker Barrel. And so we were on our way there, but I needed to get gas. And so Ryan was like, we were going to drive back to Athens afterwards. And I was like, I'll go get a water. And so I'm filling up the gas, all angry. And he comes back without a water bottle and only with a Snickers. He said, for when you're hungry, because you're being a heinous bitch. And then I felt better after I ate the Snickers and was less than a heinous bitch. So that's my time. These are the things I've learned about myself in the times of Rona. So thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you. I think we're out of the pin view now. So thanks, Lauren. Another round of semi-silent applause. And would you please welcome up our second comedian of the evening.
Wait, hold on. Keep going, but I'm gonna walk on.
I'm gonna vamp.
Yeah, I'm gonna vamp. Yeah,
I'll
vamp a little
vamp
bit.
on you. All right. The Colossus of
Also, make some sort of hand motion when you're ready, because my headphones aren't on, and I don't know when you've said what you've said.
Okay. The Colossus of Cackles, the master
I
of
guess
mirth.
it's my time. Hello, everyone. All right, I'm gonna share my screen because I have a short presentation to do.
I love your present.
Oh boy.
Hold on. How does this shit work? Oh, there we go. Share.
Oh yeah, we can.
All right, this is a short presentation I put together called Characters I Do Not Respect. It is not characters that I dislike. It is merely characters that I do not respect and do not think highly of. Number 1, Kirby. Kirby does not wear clothes. He does not have limbs. His feet are attached to him through some unknown means. And I bet he doesn't understand the concept of currency. So he is not worthy of my respect. I would not share a beer with Kirby. I would not get lunch with Kirby. I would kick Kirby, and then he would suck me up into his endless stomach and then gain some sort of Nathan power. Number 2, the boss baby. Despite his status as a boss, I will not show him respect because he is a baby and he's like 20 years younger than me. And also he's voiced by Alex Trebek, not Trebek. I forget. Baldwin, the Baldwin, yeah. He has a full-grown man voice and that little baby body. Also, I don't know where he got that suit, and like, did he get that tailored? And he's kind of pretentious to me that he can afford to get something tailored when he doesn't have any money. He probably just has Cheerios that he throws around. So also look at the green eyes. I don't like the green eyes. He seems really smug and his head's too big. So that's why I would not respect the boss baby. I would not answer his calls from HR. Number 3, Pinocchio from the Shrek movies. See, I have a very specific gripe with Pinocchio from the Shrek movies. He has nothing to do with he serves as a plot device where the bad guy will go up to Pinocchio and they'll go, "Where's Shrek?" And he'll go, "I don't know." And his nose will get bigger, and there'll be some sort of bit for like a minute or two of him trying to talk his way around it and not reveal where Shrek is. Well, I'm tired of it. It happens in every movie. This guy only exists to be like, haha, he's lying. And look, he's got a little leaf on his nose. Doesn't even make sense. He's not a tree. He's a puppet, and his little mouth is unhinged. It looks like a little box, and he's at some sort of tea party here. And like, I would not respect him. I would use him as firewood. Number 4, Wheezy the penguin thing. He's kind of a loser, and he can't sing unless it gives him like motivation or some shit at the end. Also, he's dusty and he doesn't play with him, so he's kind of like a low tier toy. But he sings like Louis Armstrong, which I would respect, but he's just aping someone else. So for that, I do not respect. Also, his bow tie is attached to his body, which seems fucked up, and he has that weird mesh thing in his mouth, which I don't like looking at. Like, just have a normal throat with the dangly thing. So for that, I do not respect him. Number 5, Underdog from the Walt Disney movie 2008, Underdog. I do not respect him because he's a dog with superpowers, and I think it's strange that he has superpowers, for one, because I'm not sure he has a sense of morality compatible to humans, and also he's got big floppy ears, which normally is a plus, but I feel like they would get ripped off at high speeds, and I don't want to think about that. Also, he's like badly CG'd and he's wearing a sweater, and he's just like Superman dog, and he's also based on a cartoon, but he's a real dog now for some reason. And if you look at the globe beneath him, I don't know what fucking part of the earth he's flying over. Like, I don't know, like, if the continent split open because of Underdog, but I do not. Also, look how big his cape is. It's impractical. He's gonna get stuck in stuff. Salacious Crumb. He's the little guy from episode 6 of Star Wars who goes. I don't respect him because he laughs like he is sentient, but I looked it up. His species is not sentient. They just laugh. And look at his ears. How can there possibly be any sort of hearing organ in those ears? That's like they attach tissue paper to his head. And I also, if you were to remove his ears, he would just be like an arrow pointing upwards. And for that, I hate him. And look at his little Donald Trump hair on top of his triangle head. And finally, this is the last character I do not respect, Lauren Steinkell. This is a picture of Lauren from high school. I hear that Lauren becomes a bitch when she's hungry, which is not a respectful trait. That ends my time.
Thank you very much, Nathan. They're all animated characters.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. Another thing about Oscar is he doesn't pay the rent.
And he acts like a baby when no one else is around.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Nathan. Everybody, another silent round. Or an audible round of applause. I don't care. All right. Somebody do me an introduction.
I'll beer you an introduction.
Beer me an intro.
Coming live to you from Depot Street.
Don't tell them where I live.
The first
this
house.
Is the internet.
The first house on the left. You'll have to like blot this out.
Probably not going to.
Anyways, he's got legs. He's got arms. Here's Matthew Canel.
Look at me. Whoa, I got him. Isn't it great? Hello, everybody, and I'm glad to be here. I'm really excited to be doing Zoom comedy, because if something goes wrong, I can just throw up this, and you can pretend you're watching a better comedian. I literally couldn't find a picture of John Mulaney, whereas one of his arms isn't extended all the way to the side. But then, I'm back. So I've been having a long quarantine, as we all have. But it brings me back to memories of past eons and things like that. And so this summer has reminded me of a summer many years ago when I worked at a daycare. And I was probably not, as a recent high school graduate, emotionally mature enough to work at a daycare and, protect the lives of children. I would say partially because I made up rules to games so that I could kind of target kids I didn't like. So I'd just be like, no, you're out. Yeah, you're out. That's how pickle works. And I held a lot of grudges, but this is probably the biggest grudge of them all. This is the story of John and Martin, let's call them. They were both in the elementary school, older age. And we went to the pool one day. We went to the pool about once a week with all of the classrooms. And there were like 4 or 5 of the teachers and like 50 kids, which is terrible numbers for a pool, because if someone is drowning, you cannot save them if there's you're watching 9 other kids. So we're pretty much there just to like legally say that we're there protecting the children. But most of the time, we were just kind of gossiping to ourselves, the teachers. It's great. It's a good system. But at one point, some teachers were off to the side, and a kid runs up to us and says, "John punched Martin, sorry. Punched Martian." And I looked at all the teachers, and we said, "Yeah, that sounds about right. that seems fair." Because Martin was not a very friendly child, and so this seemed to make sense. He was kind of a bully. He tried to bully me, one of the teachers, and it worked. Another proof that I was not emotionally ready for daycare teaching. But so this happened, and as teachers, we bring the children all to us for some conflict resolution. And so John and Martin are both brought up with some of the witnesses, I suppose. And as it goes along, you know, children are just gathering around. People are sharing descriptions of what happened at this pool and the punch and how amazing it was. It was like Judge Judy. There were so many people gathered around. It was hugely entertaining, and we were underqualified as heck. And so all these people were just coming up, and the story unfolded that Martin was drowning John, I guess you could say. He was holding him under the water and not letting him up, and it was horrible. It was horrible. And so I'd say John decided to fight back and kind of punched him in the head a little bit, and Martin was a baby, so he was like, I've been punched, and then the whole thing, and somebody ran up and did the whole thing. And so this is the story that we uncovered, all of us teachers, and so we brought everybody to the one place, and we said, okay, we're going to deliberate with each other as teachers for a little bit, and then we're going to tell each of you what your punishments will be today, because this is, you know, we're going to have to punish this behavior. And so all of the teachers went off, and we kind of gathered in. We were just like, I think we know what we're going to do here. And so we all go away, and then we bring Martin up, and we say, Martin, this was horrible. You cannot do this. You cannot drown your fellow students. You are losing your iPad time for a full week. You're going to sit on the wall during this recess time. And we took away these punishments and said, now you're going to sit here with us teachers for the next rest period and the next swimming period. We're not going to allow this anymore. And we sent him away and brought up John, and we leaned in real close and said, John, you probably shouldn't have punched Martin. When you leave, pretend like we gave you a really big punishment, but honestly, you're good. Aim for the face next time. And we sent him on his way, and it was fantastic. It was, oh man, we all wanted to punch Martin, I'm pretty sure. I know we all wanted to punch Martin, and John was the only one who had the gall to do it. So I respect that kid. And that's my time. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening. Okay, so Nathan, it just zoomed in on you, and I saw you clapping. So thank you all for coming to Blue Pencil's first Zoom comedy night. I hope that we will make this a regular occurrence. I think it worked out pretty well, honestly, with the reaction from the audience. I felt like it was all right. So maybe next week we'll have some more comedians, or maybe we'll push it forward a few weeks. But we hope to see you all again. Thank you for coming to the show, and I hope you guys are staying safe and having a good time here at Ohio University.
Play us out, Johnny.
I'm stopping the recording.